Man falls to his death in Zion National Park. St. George man arrested for allegedly assaulting police during January 6th Capitol breach. And your local weather forecast coming up with highs, lows, and everything you need to know for the days ahead.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. A 40-year-old man fell approximately 200 feet while rappelling in Zion National Park on Saturday night, according to Washington County Sheriff's Deputy Jacob Paul. Despite life-saving efforts, the man was declared dead at the scene after being airlifted from the canyon to an area near Watchman Campground by a Utah Highway Patrol helicopter. The incident occurred around 6 p.m. near the Emerald Pools as the man's group navigated Heaps Canyon. Rescue efforts continued into Sunday as there were 3 other members in the man's climbing party, all of whom were retrieved safely by 2 p.m., according to Zion National Park officials. 2 brothers, Christopher Jordan of St. George and Earl Jordan of Iowa, were arrested for allegedly assaulting law enforcement during the January 6, 2021 breach of the U.S. Capitol. Both face felony charges including assaulting officers and obstructing law enforcement during a civil disorder. The FBI arrested Christopher in Utah and Earl in Iowa, with both set for initial court appearances in their respective districts. According to court documents, the brothers were captured on police body cam footage confronting officers, with one allegedly grabbing an officer by the throat. Now we'll take a look at your weekend weather forecast, brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino. In St. George, Utah, it's a warm 95 degrees with clear skies. Now tonight, temperatures will drop to a comfortable 64 degrees. Looking ahead to tomorrow, expect another hot day with a high reaching 96 degrees and a low of 62. Moving on to Mesquite, Nevada, we are seeing warmer conditions with a current temperature of 103 degrees. Tonight's low will be around 70 degrees. Tomorrow, anticipate a high of 101 and a low of 68. Finally, in Cedar City, Utah, it's currently 81 degrees. Tonight, expect cooler temperatures at 49 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast includes a high of 81 and a low of 49. Now we'll head over to Aaron Crane for your local sports update.
Thanks, Monica. This past week in sports, the Crimson Cliffs Mustangs continue to assert their dominance, winning their 5th straight game with a 55-20 rout over Hurricane. With nearly 40 seniors on the roster, the Mustangs overwhelmed the Young Tigers, jumping out to a 28-0 lead by halftime. McCord Christiansen led the offense with 3 rushing touchdowns, while quarterback Ryder Sherritt threw for 2. Meanwhile, the Desert Hills Thunder secured their 2nd consecutive victory with a 27-7 win over Snow Canyon. After falling behind early, Desert Hills responded with 27 unanswered points, with senior quarterback Garrett Grondel contributing both a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. The Thunder's defense shut out Snow Canyon in the second half. In a nail-biter, the Dixie Flyers edged Cedar 35-34. Running back Rand Sawyer scored 5 touchdowns, including a critical 85-yard run. Cedar fought back late, scoring a touchdown and attempting a 2-point conversion for the win, but fell short, allowing Dixie to recover the onside kick to seal the victory. The Snow Canyon girls soccer team is peaking at the right moment, securing a 2-0 victory over Dixie for their 7th straight win. With an impressive Region 9 record of 11-1 and an overall record of 14-2, they head into the 4A state playoffs as champions. Meanwhile, Cedar wrapped up the regular season with 2 wins, defeating Crimson Cliffs 3-2 and Pineview 5-1. Kyla Johnson and Ada Murray were standout players, helping Cedar finish strong. With the playoff bracket now set, Snow Canyon and Desert Hills earned first-round byes, while other Region 9 teams prepare for games on October 10th. Now back to you, Monica.
Thanks, Aaron. The 48th St. George Marathon saw over 8,000 participants take part in 3 events on a beautiful Saturday morning, with former BYU track star Michael Audison winning the men's race and Cody Clevin breaking her own course record to take the women's title. Here's Eric Gould for the details.
The first finishers in the St. George Marathon were led by Mayor Michelle Randall, who conducted her annual Mayor's Walk to start off the festivities at Vernon Worthen Park on Saturday. Over 8,000 participants trickled and then streamed across the finish line as the morning went on. First to finish the men's half marathon was Japan's Hajime Sakai. Shortly after he finished, the top 2 women's finishers in the half marathon, Savannah Berry and Ellie Stevens, crossed the line and headed for the mists of cool water in the finish area. That was all prelude to the top men's finisher, Michael Otteson of Provo, who posted a winning time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, 3 seconds. Otteson talked about his run with St. George News, and we'll hear from second-place finisher Riley Cook and first-place women's finisher Cody Clevin.
Yeah, wonderful event. It was a lot of fun being able to run with friends. The event is so well organized, and I appreciate all the people that have come out here to cheer us on. It was a lot of fun today.
We were just working together, trading leads in the wind. It was so much fun. So much camaraderie out there. It was awesome. And
I was struggling at the end, so I'm sure my head was battling. I was just trying everything I could to finish. So I felt good for up until 20 is when it started to get really hard.
Thanks, Eric. A visually impaired 19-year-old bicyclist has completed a 2-week ride across Utah, covering over 400 miles with the help of a tandem bike. For more on this story, here's Jeff Richards.
19-year-old Josh Taylor, a visually impaired bicyclist, recently completed a successful 2-week trip that took him from one end of the state to the other. Cedar City News caught up with Josh in Panguitch on Tuesday night, 2 days before he wrapped up the last couple legs of his trip in southern Utah.
It's a journey before destination, life before death. And I like it because it puts all the emphasis on the journey, like the people you meet. I've met a lot of people. Some actually I've met on this trail, okay? Some I have met in other locations. And I've also experienced this where it's like I fell into depression and I didn't want to do anything. I didn't think that adventure was possible, doing stuff. It was impossible. I mean, a blind guy can't see the world. So, and that kind of got me let down. And after a while, I actually went and did this boat race with the School for the Blind where we rowed a boat, paddled about 70 miles, 48 hours. And I had this sense that I had hope. I could go and do adventures, but I still knew a lot of people that didn't know that. So I wanted to, part of this was very much to raise awareness that even though you have a disability, that does not mean that you have a lack of ability. It just means you have to adapt to your situation to overcome your disability, to overcome the trials that hide your dream, and that's how you accomplish your dreams, adapting.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.